Hi, welcome to the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. We are your hosts, Holden and Finn. Today, hello. How is it hanging in your hood?
Oh, it's a lot better this time, considering I have much better headphones to stave off the robot voice curse.
Yes, the roboting, the echoing, plagued our last episode, but I still got some good reception. I got some people messaging in. Emma sent me a message of her doing homework, and it was like, sounds like you guys are just having a chat, just to my left while I'm studying. I'm not sure why we'd be doing that, but
that's what we're going for.
Yeah,
right?
I say, yeah.
I think that's the highest praise.
It's the highest praise. You know, maybe if you feel alone in lockdown while you're writing your thesis or gaming, you know, whatever it is, you could feel a little less lonely knowing that we are here to talk about movies without your input. You just get to listen. Of course, you can always leave a comment if you have something important to say, but, you know, we don't necessarily have anything important to say, so it's basically...
Never.
Yeah.
we regard ourselves as a completely superfluous and just having a good time talking rubbish.
Absolutely, yeah. But, you know, if it makes you feel less alone, that sounds good to me. So, okay, I guess, you know, let's address what we're talking about today. We didn't have as much time to kind of prepare because there was a whole lot of shenanigans last week. I didn't get it up. I didn't get the episode up in time. We've had to move around the schedule. You know, we never really decided on a topic at the end of our last recording. So on like Tuesday, we just you know, we kind of came to the agreement to look at the best foreign language films. And we got around the world today.
Best foreign language films.
Yeah.
I think a more accurate description of it would be best non-English films.
Yeah.
Films that are in any other language other than English.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel like having anything that's not in English be classified as a foreign film is a little bit might be a little bit
a tad kind of imperial.
Western centered.
It's a little bit of an imperialist idea, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we could have people listening from around the world. Who knows? I haven't looked at our analytics. So, yeah, basically, you know, you kind of explained it well. Just films that are not originally in English, and then we had to use the subtitle system to consume them as English speakers. That's basically what happened.
And as we all know, subbed is almost always better than dubbed.
Yeah, I have
Almost.
I have a story about that, actually, because the version of one of the movies we're looking at this week, Drunken Master, 1978, starring Jackie Chan as a little 24-year-old twink, the version I rented was dubbed. There was no subtitle option, and God, it was weird. You know, some poor translations.
The first time I watched it, it was weird. The first time I watched it, it was on Netflix, and it was a strange mix of sometimes it was subbed, but sometimes it would change to the dubbed version in random bits. Like it changes to an English dub.
Yeah, weird.
And I don't know if that was like the original intention, but it kind of added to the goofiness of it. Sometimes it just changed into this English guy going, "What? You are the master." Rah. It was I think it probably added to my enjoyment of the spectacle.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll get further into that.
I watched it with my dad, and he's kind of you know, he was in his early teens in the 70s, so you know, he watched all the kung fu movies of this time period. He hadn't seen this one. I think he watched the more serious stuff. You know, I did see a tagline saying that it was like the original kung fu comedy film, and I'm like, that sounds like a riot. Kung fu comedy sounds good. Watched it, loved it. Great recommendation from you, Finn. Never heard of it, so yeah. I was glad to sink my teeth into some of that. But of course, we can't really go any further without addressing the most important part of this podcast.
Yes.
Any idea what that might be?
My favorite segment.
What has Adam Sandler been up to this week?
What is our good pal Adam been up to? Because this is the segment where I sit back and let you take the helm because I want almost nothing to do with this.
It's the least interesting part of your fortnight. Listening to what Adam Sandler's been up to. Well, luckily, you know, we won't really return to the high of Adam Sandler's 55th birthday. That was a few weeks ago.
Yes.
But in the last 2 weeks, there's been some developments in the Adam Sandler cinematic universe. First of all, Hotel Transylvania 4 is in the works as we speak. However, Adam has said he is not returning to the franchise. What do you think of this?
Okay. As much as I despise Adam Sandler, I want the quote unquote integrity of like a movie series to maintain its lead role at the very least. If it's gonna have this strained number of sequels, at least get Adam Sandler back. He's the main character.
You think it's a mistake?
And if he's not I think it's a mistake. If he's not coming back, don't make it.
Fair enough. Yeah. What do they need a fourth Hotel Transylvania film for anyway?
They could just chuck in a skilled voice actor to do a Adam Sandler impression of Adam Sandler doing a Dracula impression.
They could. That's an option. I'm not sure who's going to replace Adam. I didn't bother to read the whole article. But it says, I kind of skimmed it and I found out that it is likely due, because they said, believe it or not, the Hotel Transylvania franchise has made $1 billion. Basically, that's more than some countries' entire economies. So everyone's thinking, why would Adam Sandler not return to this literal billion-dollar franchise? Something must be up. And it looks like there has been...
$1 billion.
Yes, literally, it has made $1 billion with the films and all the merch and whatever else. And it seems to be because there's been a little bit of a strained relationship between Adam and Sony. Because Adam's kind of gone off to do his own thing with Netflix. He made Murder Mystery. He made Hubie Halloween. Both those movies absolutely terrible. Couldn't get through the first 10 minutes. But he's making Hustle as well.
I made it through the entirety of Hubie Halloween.
You did?
I did. I can't remember why I did it. Because it was horrible. It must have been of like the volition of someone else.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have done it on my own time, on my own clock. I'm not a fan of I'm an ironic fan of The Sand. So I checked it out. Literally, there's one joke, and that is that Adam. There's one joke, and there's all the Adam Sandlerisms that make them utterly terrible. He's the town doofus.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of like.
But also he gets
the hot chicks,
the insanely attractive love interest. That.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine, but just mix it up.
Yeah, well, at least he's playing basketball in this next movie, which I guess will be a new character at least. Baller Sandler, as opposed to just Adam Sandler as Adam Sandler or Adam Sandler as R-worded Sandler. Because that's his joke. He acts like he's got like a 62 IQ, and that's the whole joke. That's the character. It's like, anyway.
At least he's really good at playing a really dumb person.
Yeah, it probably comes natural. Look, we can't say that. He's got more money than we do. He's got more money than we do.
Hear that, Sand? You hear that, Sand?
Yeah.
This is no longer your favorite podcast if you would ever listen to it.
Oh my God. Look, he's got more money than us.
This has gone off the...
It's already gone off the rails. We're like 10 minutes in. Yeah, off the rails. But, I guess that means I'm Team Sony, in this development, as opposed to Team Adam. Let us know in the comments, are you Team Sony or Team Adam?
After Spider-Verse, I would say I'm getting back on Sony's side. I hated Venom. Venom was a strange fever dream, of a film. But I think they're gonna get back on the wagon, or they're gonna go off the wagon completely and destroy everything that they've started to build up.
Well, Hotel Transylvania 4 will tell. Time will tell. I didn't know they made 3. I only saw the first one.
I watched the first one, and I think the third one they went on a cruise or something like that.
Lit.
And it's just
sounds like Adam Sandler directed it.
It's lit.
Well, they go to the Bahamas or something.
In every Adam Sandler movie, they go on a holiday. Yeah. It's like Adam Sandler makes movies as an excuse to take his friends on holiday.
Exactly. That's why.
Which is hilarious.
And literally, murder mystery is that exact concept. Like, it's barely about murder or mystery. It's more so about they're on a cruise in Morocco, you know. And he's making a sequel, even though I can't say that it was a box office success. Like, how many people have you heard said, "Oh, bro, you got to watch Adam Sandler's Murder Mystery, bro"? You know, absolutely no one. So he's really funding
Sandler's magnum opus.
yeah, Uncut Gems, bro. No. You got to see Murder Mystery 2.
Yeah. Okay, I have a pitch for Hotel Transylvania 4. A vampire hunter.
Oh, okay.
Mercs Dracula. He's dead.
He's dead already.
That's my pitch.
How long's this movie? 4 minutes?
It's just... it's a short. It gets a wide cinematic release.
It's like, you know, Disney's doing shorts, so, you know, why can't we just, you know, why not? You know, good point.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping in the...
It's a short before, like, the next Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man Back in the Spider-Verse, brought to you by... Hotel Transylvania.
Get Tom Holland in there. Get Tom Holland to voice Spider-Man. Oh, not Spider-Man. He's already Spider-Man. Get him to be Dracula. Why not? He'll be like, "Hello, I'm Dracula now."
Oh God.
$1 billion.
Yeah. Oh my God. We kind of touched on the fact that my next point was a sequel to Adam Sandler's film Murder Mystery has been announced, and critics have already predicted it's going to be a snooze, which is the best part. Yeah,
you don't need to like have a wealth of film knowledge to know that this will be a disaster.
Oh yeah,
you don't.
But you know, as much wealth of film knowledge as I have, I am confident about Hustle because I feel like it's something different from Adam Sandler in the realm that he's not just on a cruise with some hot chicks. He's playing basketball with LeBron James, and I think that could be interesting. This could be his comeback. You know, I've got fingers crossed.
Look. I'm sure everyone was hesitant to get on the Uncut Gems train before that came out, and now people are saying it was snubbed at the Oscars. So,
yeah. Imagine that.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, best picture for Adam Sandler, and best actor. He takes home 2. I'm predicting it.
Imagine his speech.
Well, hi everyone. That's exactly what he'd do. And then like bloody
look at this little gold man.
We've got some good Adam Sandler news. You know, these other pieces have been a little bit of downers. He's not returning to Hotel Transylvania 4. He's making a sequel to Murder Mystery. Bit of a downer, but we've got some good news from Adam. So since
shoot.
Yeah, I guess since last October, Adam has been in Philadelphia, USA, East Coast, filming Hustle. With some big names. There was an article about I saw Adam Sandler spotted in a Rolls Royce in Philadelphia. I was like, oh, brilliant, that's news. Yeah, I'm sure he was. But more so, who's reporting on this? Is there really that little going on with Adam Sandler? Anyway, but so he's been spotted supporting small Philadelphia businesses. Yes. Round of applause, I guess. Wow. Yeah, good for him. It has been reported he has been buying plenty of donuts, bagels, and Philly cheesesteaks. Sounds like a good time to me. But more so, he's bought 3 guitars from a vendor in Philadelphia who didn't even know who Adam Sandler was, and was interviewed by this magazine in which he said, "Oh, everyone was like so excited that Adam Sandler was in my store buying 3 guitars." Now that I'm reading this out loud, I'm just realizing that Adam Sandler's life is like kind of boring at the moment. He's making movies. He's not making movies. He's buying guitars.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of the vendor because he has never heard of Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Well, and he bought 3 guitars, and you know I have a great picture. Actually, I'll put it in the document of Adam Sandler with his new guitars that he bought. I didn't know he shreds, honestly. Yeah, we'll put this in the show notes so everyone can see this image for themselves of Adam Sandler supporting local business. You didn't know you needed it. Wait, is it up? Come on. Oh, it's okay. It's on page 3. Just scroll up. Look at him. He's got his 3 guitars.
Oh, look at him.
He looks so happy.
He's a happy guy.
I got 3 guitars. So he got 1. This is like the
And in his next film, he plays a loner loser with 6 arms who can play 3 guitars at once, and through his power of song, he can attract 3 women at once.
Wow.
What has Adam Sandler been up to this week?
And with that's concludes Adam Sandler news for this week. Again, a little bit of dry spell.
Thank God.
All right, we're gonna leave Parasite for a little bit because I feel like there's a lot to break down there. Same with Martyrs. So those are our 3 films for this week. We watched Parasite from South Korea. We watched Drunken Master from Hong Kong, and we watched Martyrs from France. And we might even give a quick shout out to. We were going to talk about Takashi Miike from Japan. He's kind of like the Japanese David Lynch, I'd say, in that anyone who knows anything about kind of Japanese films, like, familiar with him. But he makes some weird stuff. He's got a weird mind.
I can't.
Yeah. We'll touch back on him, later. Maybe we'll do a segment just about Japanese films because there's quite a market for them, even in the West. You love your Studio Ghibli stuff and stuff like that. So we'll come back to Takashi Miike. But yeah, Audition, Ichi the Killer, and I recommended Visitor Q, but that's such a deep cut. I was like, am I going to make Finn watch Visitor Q for this? No, I'm not.
You made me watch Martyrs, which I don't know how it can get much worse than that. I think what drew me to, especially Jackie Chan's work, especially early in his career in the Hong Kong film industry, is his mastery of the action comedy. Because, and kind of action in general in films. In Western films nowadays, you have your shaky cams. You have your tough protagonists that show no weakness in their fights. They are total badasses. They have no they have no weaknesses.
They got 8 packs,
cuts galore.
Yeah.
They can't just linger on the action and let the skilled stunt performance speak for itself. And I'm talking generally about the Jackie Chan Hong Kong kind of genre.
The scene,
His characters show so much weakness. He's always on the back foot.
Yeah.
And that's what brings around the comedy in the action comedy genre.
That's a good point. Yeah, kind of the fact that I guess in this movie I haven't seen a lot of Jackie Chan stuff, but besides kind of Rush Hour and The Spy Next Door, things he did when he was like 50 years old. So we're going back in time a little bit, but I watched it with my dad. As I was saying, my dad loves the kung fu stuff, and big Bruce Lee fan. He had like posters of Bruce Lee back up in his bedroom when he was like 13. And my dad says when we were watching this, I don't remember Bruce Lee ever crying this much. and like you said, that's a good point. It's different because it shakes it up because I guess the main guy is more relatable in a sense. Because we see kind of that struggle. He's kind of a badass. He kind of does some good moves, but he still kind of like gets in trouble with his dad. He's still kind of he's not perfect. He struggles under like a more intense, more strict sensei, even though that's Japanese, but master, I guess. So I guess you can kind of see yourself in Jackie Chan when he's like trying to do like one of those exercises, those stamina exercises, and he sneakily takes a seat or cheats or whatever. It's like, oh, I'd do that.
Yeah, and that's an aspect that really has ingratiated me towards the kind of like the method of shooting action in Hong Kong cinema. Also, let your stunt performance and your choreography speak for itself.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to cut every 2 seconds and have the cameraman emulate a seizure to give the effect of, oh, that's a harsh punch. Oh, this guy's in real danger. Look at the weight behind these this combat. No, it looks like crap. Stop doing that. And this, in Drunken Master, it is an excellent display of how a well-timed cut, like just before you hit someone, you show it again from a different angle. And that's what actually gives the illusion of impact.
Yeah.
You feel the punches that are being laid on because of a combination of sound effects and actually intelligent use of cutting and just let the fight breathe in one shot, you know?
Yeah, ever since you mentioned it, I've kind of come like hyper aware of now that you mention it, in every kind of action film that I've seen like recently or like somewhere recently, or even in the last 25 years, it's like bing bang, bing bang, bing bong, it's just like cut. While you just sit there and watch Jackie Chan just like kick ass for 2 minutes straight without cuts. That must have taken, that's some skill. They would have rehearsed that like non-stop, especially, because of like the comedy of it. Like it's not necessarily like traditional kung fu all the time. If you had been training in kung fu for ages, like you could like do a 2-minute sequence, pretty easy. But then if you have to like do a spin and stand on one hand and like fart in someone's face, like just add a bit of pizzazz, then that's gotta be rehearsed. So like I feel like I agree.
As soon as now that I've told you that, you will watch a Western action movie and you will
not know what's going on. Yeah.
You will be just disoriented, and if you count the amount of cuts, it is something absurd to the extent of like 5 cuts every like literal 5 seconds.
Must take forever.
Just because some people are just lazy and they don't want to have a carefully plotted out choreography that will actually give the illusion of a real fight.
Yeah.
Also, I suppose it's a matter of trying to hide a stunt person's face. That's not Chris Pratt. You know what I mean?
Not Chris Pratt. It should be. Yeah, Jackie Chan's like 67. I feel like he still does all his own stunts. So, not that I feel like he's like kicking as much ass recently, but he still kicks a little bit of ass. He's Jackie Chan for God's sake, but I feel like at times you can see the old man was definitely been replaced. It's like my dad was like, it's like I wear a wig, but he still kind of kicks some ass kind of as the old man. So everyone's very talented in this film. Props to them. I guess and
I would rather see a random guy in a wig than not being able to see anything.
Yeah, just seeing colors, seeing sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the sound design.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
The punches.
Yeah, it sounds like this.
It's like it's like a wet smack of like a Indiana Jones punch.
And there's no music.
It's
during most of these fights. There's no music. Like there'll be like some like chimes or something like in transitions, but they're just fighting in silence for most of the time.
Yeah.
And you just
like the choreography is like its own music. Like the rhythm of the punches and it's kind of like they're dancing to like music that's not there.
Yeah.
But you get the sense of the rhythm and the musicality of their choreography and their fighting. I think that's a big part of the greatness of the action in this film.
Yeah, for sure. And you only kind of don't recognize that there's no music and there's no cuts because you're so used to like how they do it in the West, where there's like an orchestra of like 100 violins during the boss battle. Meanwhile, this guy just like fights a boss in silence as the old man like cheers on for like 5 minutes. So but you still get that kind of climax. You're like, this is what he's been training for, to kick this guy's ass. And although it's like kind of the same as every other fight, except it goes for a bit longer, you still feel that kind of achievement of being we followed the journey and now we're going to kick even more ass. What are the chances that this would happen? As simple as it kind of is, it's still rewarding. So it's well done.
It is. And with his like final battle with a thunder leg, I think at the end, there's little to no music throughout it, but once he starts to get the techniques of the drunken masters down, once he like downs his alcohol, that's when the music kicks in, and that's what makes the the inclusion of that music so powerful, and it really stands out from the rest of it, and it feels like this is the final battle. This is the climax.
And I
think that's so effective.
And I love his final move. I don't know if it's something. It's called like Lady Wu or something. But he was like, he wouldn't do it in his training because it was too gay. He pulls it off at the end. He embraces his feminine side and does like a little limp wrist flick to defeat the bad guy. So that's all it takes. That's all it takes. We'll move on to, just so we have time for everything. We're already 40 minutes in. Ooh. I don't always put the whole conversation in because we kind of say the same thing over and over again sometimes. But yeah, we got some good stuff in there. So we'll move on to Martyrs, the French film by, again, no idea. But it's
a very drastic change in tone.
Very much so, yeah. But we could kind of we'll lead up to it and have it last talk about Parasite. But I feel like there's a lot to talk about with Parasite. I feel like it's one of the most analysed films ever. So yeah, we might leave it to the end. But okay, let's talk about Martyrs. I guess I'll try and introduce it because this was my recommendation.
What? Okay. When I watched it last night, I told you that I don't think I loved it, but I think I appreciated it. Was interesting. Yeah, definitely. So it is a French film. It's about 13 years old, much younger than Drunken Master, and these two girls, Lucie and Anna, it kind of starts where they're kind of like kicking some ass in this house, trying to get revenge on the family that they kick some ass. All right.
So it starts off with they're kicking some ass because I think this family abused them when they were younger, or they had ties to some kind of, maybe it was some Pizzagate kind of child abuse ring. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it's not necessarily the main plot. The main plot is kind of what happens later, in which the girls kind of get kidnapped.
I thought this film was going to end halfway through.
It's kind of like two different films.
The first arc. It is two films. The first half is a strange, kind of psychological, somewhat supernatural, gory fest of destruction. Yeah. But as it goes on, it brings it down to earth, crashing so hard.
Yeah,
everything that seemed supernatural in the beginning is explained in a devastating way. Yeah. That's realistic, and it's hard to watch.
Oh yeah, no, not for the kids. I think this is an 18, and again, no, we don't get a lot of 18s in Hollywood movies. I guess that an American 18 is R15, but I guess an Australian 18 or an NC 17 or whatever it's called in the United States is it doesn't come around often because it's not very accessible. Who kind of wants to watch this for fun? But again, like I kind of alluded to in the beginning, it's less so kind of to get butts in seats and more so to explore a concept cinematically. And the concept I found was really interesting. We kind of get in American or Hollywood horror films, the killers, we'll call them the killers, even though it's not necessarily a killer movie, or the bad guys the killer. They're more like cultists in a way, but it's kind of what's their motive? They're just psychotic. Oh, okay, what's their motive? Oh, you betrayed my brother. It's something dumb. But this is super interesting because there's not really any reason why. I didn't really pick up any reason why. It's just it happens to be Lucille and Anna. Besides, I guess kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, got mixed up in this cult group of abuse victims. But these guys are running an experiment. They want to push the human body to its limit. They want to see how close a person can come to death while still being alive, so they can see what the afterlife is like. That might be a spoiler. I'm not sure. But Look. I'm not saying
if you're gonna go.
Yeah.
If you're gonna watch this film, go. Okay.
You're better off knowing what's in it. Before you go and see it.
I don't think I'm going to recommend this movie in good conscience.
Yeah, it's rough.
If you really find the common horror film to be drab and not to your standard, I would say you could probably jump up to this level.
Yeah.
I love a good horror film. I wouldn't say that I was particularly scared.
It's just
but
confronting.
My skin was indeed crawling.
Yeah.
It really got.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
Yeah.
It really got
under my skin.
It really got under my skin.
Yeah. So trigger warning for some body horror. Definitely in this movie towards the climax. So definitely not for everyone. I'm super skirmish with eye body horror. I don't know why. I hate it when people's eyes get taken out and things. So yeah, just letting you know. Not necessarily like a kind of recommendation, but we're just kind of exploring. Films that have some kind of merit from different countries, and I always remember this one. This one always stuck with me because why wouldn't it? It's hard to forget this one quick. Yeah. So, I guess that being said, like if you're morbidly curious and you seriously don't want it spoiled, then you can kind of Google it and pause this and watch it later. But yeah, the concept is that these cultists want to bring someone. Or torture them to the point that they are close enough to death to see the afterlife because they're curious. So they want to know what it's like, and they do achieve that with the woman in this movie. And then there's kind of like a bizarre ending in which kind of the cult leaders get together and they're like, okay, what are the results? And it's like, and the woman's like, unfortunately, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. And then she kills herself, which I think is kind of a badass ending anyway. The same way that. I kind of, as cool as like a drawn out kind of cinematic ending is, there's just something kind of like nice in just like the candidness of like, oh, you know what? Come to think of it, this thing that we did kind of effed up. I'm out. So, it kind of sums up how I feel perfectly. It's like, yeah, that was effed up. I'm out. Bye. See you later.
Yeah. Never coming back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I'm definitely not going to actively watch this again. But with that being said, I would say that I'm glad I did watch it the first time. And I definitely enjoyed the first half more than I did the second half. And I would like to find the person who likes the second half more than they like the first half, just to see what kind of person they are. But yeah, it really does feel like there's two movies that kind of are pushed together.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where it lost me in the middle, because I was getting really invested in Lucy and Anna's story at the beginning. And I was really fascinated with the idea that Lucy's trauma is following her around in the form of this, what we think is a supernatural monster, zombie person. Yeah. But it's just the guilt of leaving someone else behind when she escapes.
Yeah.
Which that hit me. That part really, really got to me.
Yeah.
But after the death of Lucy, I feel like the story was kind of told by that point.
Yeah. In
that little arc. And the middle was basically this cult torturing Anna for what seems like a very, very long time.
Yeah. I don't personally remember it being super long, but obviously I remember kind of like the most extreme bits because they're hard to forget. But now that you mention it, I remember the movie opening and one of the girls is kind of running away super helplessly. And that's I think that's one of the more famous scenes of this. If you look up reviews and stuff, they always kind of mentioning where she's, and it's not like anything you see. Like when the girl is running away from the bad guy in the movie, it almost kind of looks sexy in Western films, or at least kind of polished, but this was
sure.
This is kind of, there's nothing romantic, there's nothing kind of polished about it. It's
nothing.
Yeah.
You get nudity in this film, but it is rough. It's not the glamorous oh, don't kill me, Mr.
Oh
Ghostface.
no, when the killer picked me up, you could see up my skirt. No,
it is devastating, and it's I'm struggling to find the words to describe how this movie hit me, but and as I've said, the second half, I don't even know if it was even that long, but it felt long, really, it felt long, and I feel like during that time I was thinking, where is this headed? Is this just like the rest of the film from here on out? Is this what it's going to be?
A little, yeah.
And then the ending happened. And I feel like it was retroactively kind of justified.
Yeah, you know, as
in a way, I definitely wouldn't have made that choice as the director, but I respect the choices to have that discomfort pulled out for that long to get the I want to say satisfaction of the ending,
but it's so quick.
But it's weirdly
it's so quick. So
yeah, it's weirdly satisfying.
Yeah, like the big bad light gets taken out, and then the movie ends. Like, so, you know, it's it leaves more closure than if we just kind of like departed on kind of, I guess, the scene where she's seeing God or whatever's going on there. The fact that there is kind of like an interjection and we kind of get that closure of, okay, so here's all the cultists. This is what they were actually up to in case you didn't get it. You know, so, you know, maybe, you know, but potentially kind of affects the artisticness of it. But I guess that is kind of, you know, like I said, that it is mainly kind of as an artistic piece because it's really not accessible. Like, who wants to watch this? Me, because I'm interested in seeing how far you can push the envelope. This is tamer than some other things on that website that I sent you. But
but it's, I think, a lesser movie. Wouldn't even start with the motivations of the cultists. It would just be murder, torture this person.
Yeah,
but to not only give the cultists but to not only give the cultists a clear goal, but to ostensibly achieve that goal in the end. That's what kind of pushes it into, like, that's what pushes it into not like your average like torture fest.
Yeah.
That's meant to. It's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's something political about it. Yeah, there's like I feel like a lot of the extreme gore films, like when it's just like people died, like, you know, that's fun and all, but it gets taken to the next level when there is some kind of politics behind it. It's like, you know, what is this saying about religion? What is this saying about, you know, obviously, what's with this obsession with kind of the afterlife? And I guess that is to be critiqued, especially, you know, I have no idea. I guess it's kind of a Christian cult because I think the idea is they want to see heaven, but it could be anything really. And, you know, there is things to it could be anything.
Well, whatever it was, that old lady at the end either wasn't happy about it or so happy about it that she wanted to get there as soon as possible.
That's interesting. There was a Netflix original movie that is not very good, but it's called The Discovery, and it's about someone kind of breaks the news of what the afterlife is like and confirms that the afterlife is real, and then kind of the suicide rate just like goes through the roof. Because and it's a super interesting concept, but Jason Segel's in it for some reason, and I didn't find it very interesting, but
oh wow, those are two concepts that I put together regularly. Jason Segel and the concept of killing yourself to get to the afterlife.
Yeah. So it's look, we explore some deep things. There's likely some political messages. If I wanted to use my arts degree to break it down, I could. But you know, I kind of my motivation for watching it when I did several years ago was I was 14 and I was like, what's the goriest movie I can find on the internet? Found this one. It was pretty good, actually. But, well, you know, at least kind of like story-wise and cinema-wise. But enjoyment-wise, you know, not super romantic. I wouldn't recommend as a first date movie. Might cause ED, potentially. Or worse.
Or more even any dates.
Or any date. Yeah. Parasites, coming to us from Korea. Best foreign language film and best picture from 2020, was it? Oscars, I think.
2020 Oscars. I think it came out in 2018.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. Yeah.
And then,
they don't really give awards for movies that came out last week.
Yeah, it's the very first non-English film to win Best Picture.
Wow, well deserved though. Yeah.
It well deserved, and Bong Joon-ho winning Best Director as well. Have you seen any other Bong Joon-ho films? No. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Snowpiercer, Oh, he did Snowpiercer?
I think
Snowpiercer's on my
he did.
It's on my watch list because it looks cool,
He's Snowpierced.
He's Snowpierced. Yeah, that's on my watch list. Yeah,
he's Snowpierced
because that looks cool as.
I think it's fantastic, and he a common through line throughout his films is the critique of class structures and the social classes that divide.
Yeah, that's kind of what Snowpiercer is. It's kind of like the first cabin is kind of like economy, and then there's business class, and they've got to like fight through it or something. But there's something like that.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? He should do. J.G. Ballard's High Rise, because it's kind of the same concept. It takes place on. I'm sure there's like maybe he already did. It sounds like something he would do. I know there was a film come out recently, but it's this book, and basically, kind of like on one floor there's like it kind of represents a social hierarchy. There's like kind of the penthouse, and then there's people below that, and they all kind of have their neighborly disputes, but deep down it's a critique of class, obviously. So
there was another film that is kind of like. Have you seen the Platform? It was a Spanish film on Netflix. I think some people described it as the vertical Snowpiercer, where people are in this holding facility, and there's like they cook a feast at the top, and then the platform drops lower and lower throughout the levels, and people at the top eat far more than their fill, and people down the bottom get nothing, even though there is more than enough food for everyone on the platform.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that might be inspired by this High Rise, but because they.
Parasite.
Yeah, Parasite.
Yeah.
We can critique the class system some other time. That's next week. Films that critique class. We'll watch Snowpiercer. We'll watch Snowpiercer and we'll watch High Rise. Actually, let's do that. Let's take next week. What would you even call it? Kind of Marxist theory films. Marx's favourite films if he was alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. Okay.
I suppose the question of this film is who is the parasite?
I was
wondering
that.
the higher class who's leeching off the hard work of the lower class, or is it literally this lower class family who works their way into the high class family system
by kind of
and leeches off their wealth?
Or is it the guy under the stairs? Is it the guy in the basement? Spoiler alert. But I wasn't expecting that, and I was like, "Is this the parasite? What's this guy doing?" I'm still not 100% sure.
I think they're. I think they're all parasites sucking off each other, and that's why they're all gonna die in the end, because there's no sustenance left within this cycle.
Yeah.
Because they'll drive each other into the ground.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the working class. The reason capitalism. Let's talk about that. It is. I actually have a video essay if you'd like to look at this. It's on my YouTube channel. It'll be in the show notes. But what I've found through my research, looking at Marx, I have a liberal arts degree, or at least 3/4 of one. So excited to have no job.
I'm doing a creative writing degree, so I'm going to be more excited to have even less jobs.
Anyway, I found that, I was always like, why is it so hard for capitalism wants you to believe that, hey, if you work hard, you can go through the ranks. You can become working class, and then middle class, and then upper class. Easy, right? Except that almost never happens. What?
It never happens.
What's with that? It's because capitalism is designed to keep the working class working. Because if there's no working class, if everyone's middle and upper class, who's going to work for the upper class? So
exactly,
this is kind of like it talks about although hey, everyone in this family, we've got like these lit jobs working for these rich people. How cool is that? It's not necessarily kind of going to guarantee them anything, because capitalism, favors misery. As we see, nothing good happens as a result of this scheme, this plot. Yeah, definitely some, I bet there's a million video essays on this by people who are more articulate than me, so you should go watch those. Those are good. I might watch a couple. Smash like. But, something to break down. This is going to be taught in, the, kind of philosophy classes for the next 100 years.
This is a very important film. Not only because it's like groundbreaking in the way that it's the first Korean non-English film to break into the Oscars and basically sweep most of the awards, but it not only is it a poignant critique of the class system in Korea, but in almost every capitalist focused countries.
Oh yeah, of course. It all bleeds the same. Doesn't matter what language you speak. I guess as long as it's subtitled, you know what's going on. You understand this kind of concept. And as kind of a working class person, I thought it was super lit that they were able to scheme their way in. But then kind of like they're at the table and they're talking about like, oh, what if I marry the girl? The guy, the teenager guy saying, and it's like, well, yeah, I guess you didn't. What is there to say? And he says, well, maybe I'll have to hire a new mum and dad. It's like, oh, okay. So your whole life has kind of been set up to, okay, your whole new identity is just like you work for the upper class. You don't, because of this, you don't really get to have a life outside of that. Their whole family structure is, we work for the upper class. How cool is that? No, it's not cool. Life should be about more.
Talking about this, I remembered one of my favorite videos of all time. It was a guy's reaction to Parasite winning Best Picture, and he went off.
Did he say it should have been Joker?
Yes. Have you seen this? Have you seen this video?
I think I might have heard about it.
No,
I'm not sure.
No, but the best part is his reasoning was like word for word. I'm not even joking. He said Joker is a film about how it feels to be trodden on and like be in the lower class and how important it is. And that is the most ironic thing he could have possibly said. Because that is this whole film.
Yeah, I bet he thinks Parasite is like a BTS documentary or something.
This is a better representation of that idea than Joker could ever hope to be. Yeah, and I like Joker.
Yeah, but it's just a funny, silly comic book movie, Although kind of it's well directed and Joaquin Phoenix gives a great performance and you get all that emotion. It's just a funny, silly comic book movie. Come on, man.
It is. Yeah, you can say that it's a serious deep dive all you want, but it's a Joker film.
Yeah. It's living in a society.
It's a Joker film. It's living in its own society.
You notice how Joker only ever says we live in a society, not we live in a society that. This film shows us that we live in a society that, and then there's more. Yeah. It's not just we live in a society. It doesn't just stop there.
Yeah. This is the articulation of the society that breaks Joker.
Yeah, Joker just says we live in a society. Well, what about it? Nothing really.
Well, you can't. I think the greatest technique that this film uses, Parasite. I mean, not Joker. We're not talking about Joker. Is
next week when we look at Marxist film.
Yeah. Oh my god. We'll touch upon the Marxist interpretation of Joker.
He's not Italian. All Europeans are the same.
I love the Joker.
It sounds like Tommy Wiseau. I love the Joker.
Or is it Borat? We don't know.
I love Joker. Yeah.
It's somewhere.
I love. We live in a society. Yes.
Anyway, the greatest technique that this film uses is physical location.
Okay.
The wealthy family are on the highest property on a nice little pretty hill that you can possibly buy in that area.
Yeah.
And there's floors. You can go out on the balcony on top, look over your beautiful, luscious backyard. While the lower class family are literally halfway underground. are cramped down in an alley. And the parts of the film where, like the storm, when the rain comes,
Yeah.
you hear the wealthy mother literally say, "This rain is such a blessing because of how pretty and beautiful it is, and how scenic it makes their lovely property." It fully floods the half basement house,
Yeah.
and their toilet is exploding, spraying crap everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
And it just shows you how
how big the class divide is. Yeah.
it is
It
astronomical.
is enormous. You know, even like rain, just rain. You know, we could talk about economics and property, but it's even simpler than that. Just rain divides.
Yeah, if it rains hard enough, like it can flood houses and ruin lives. But no,
Yeah.
if you're on the top of a hill, it's nice to get my plants watered. Yeah, thanks.
The gardener doesn't have to
Thanks,
come
Rebecca.
over today and water them for me. Rebecca.
Oh my god.
Hey, Rebecca.
But yeah, there's so much in this film, and I felt like
a lot of twists as well.
It's come at just the right time to really break through and make the most impact that it possibly could.
Yeah. Oh, there's like a police chase outside my house. Speaking of working class areas, okay, they should be gone now.
Yeah.
Man, my train of thought is gone. It's off the rails. Yeah, you were saying it. Yeah,
It's off the rails.
It's it was a perfect time. I guess a lot of people were very protective of this film. Whenever like a celebrity would tweet, "Wow, just watched Parasite, so powerful," everyone was like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up."
We will eat you.
We will eat you. No one cares what Kristen Dunst thinks of Parasite. It's not for her. You know, she should hate Parasite because it's criticizing her. It's criticizing you people. You know.
Well, I think it might be for her in the way that she needs to check her basement to see if anyone's down there.
Oh yeah, good point.
It's a daily reminder to check her basement for any stray housekeepers' husbands.
That was a twist. That didn't see that coming at all.
That's right. I think we could literally talk about every single part of this film
Yeah.
for hours. But I think to wrap up, it's an important look at how astronomical the class divide can really get, and how like who is like leeching off who.
Yeah. You know, I guess you know, even I was kind of like, when they started like firing the driver and the housekeeper, or getting them fired, or like putting the plans in place to pull that. You know, I felt bad, you know, because it's just like people trying to make a living as well. You know, so they kind of, you know, the family kind of becomes the villain for a little while, but you know, once that's all forgotten, like you kind of like think it's cool again that they're hustling. You know, we kind of like get taken on a journey of who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. We don't know. Everyone does shitty things to survive, or because I think it's like in the best interest of them and their family. They all do.
100%. And they get the housekeeper fired, and she was basically doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
And her being desperate to get back in and like take that place once again it like shows us that if you even want to get in the vicinity of like being this rich, there are only so many opportunities and spots that are offered. And most of the time, you have to cut out everyone else that needs it just as much as you do.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
It's brutal.
Yeah. It's like man, like people are fighting. You know, you got to fight to just work for some rich guy. Like, you know, that's a life worth fighting for. Like, that's sad. You know, like it's the best that's like a lot of people, and it kind of sounds, you know, as much as it sounds Orwellian or it sounds dystopian, it sounds like facts more, like, you know.
I don't think it's dystopian at all. This is
This is live.
now.
Yeah, this is now. Yeah, and that's the worst part. That's the scariest part. You know, this is now. Wow.
This is the now.
Gets us thinking.
Speaking of now it's time to end.
It is. That was great. You know, we've got plenty of content. We've got over an hour. We can cut out some of the Adam Sandler jokes if need be. We always have plenty of those. But yeah, okay. And so, well, first of all, thank you. Yeah, first of all, last of all, thank you. Thank you for watching. Sorry about like some quality issues in the last episode. Finn, don't feel guilty for that. It was barely the echo from your end. It was mostly that I goofed up.
Hey, look,
it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. Look,
yeah. You have to have that show the Jackie Chan weakness then have the strength at the end to succeed. So that's basically what we did. Yeah. We showed our weakness. Now we have mastered the art of
podcasts.
Being drunk. Oh yeah, podcasting. That's what I meant.
Oh wait, we've mastered the art of drinking and podcasting. Sometimes at the same time. We'll do that next time. We'll get some beers and talk about Marxist theory.
100%.
Yeah. No, I'm aboard that train.
Drunk Marxist theory.
We're gonna watch Snowpiercer. We're gonna watch High Rise, the 2015 one. There might have been another one. I don't know. We'll watch that one.
And we won't watch Joker, but we will definitely talk about it.
And what was the Spanish film that you mentioned earlier? I didn't catch it, but I guess we can Google it if you don't know the name. Yeah.
Oh, The Platform.
The platform. Okay. Yeah, The Platform, Snowpiercer, High Rise. That's up next in 2 weeks' time. I'll figure out what to call that kind of genre as opposed to, I feel like Marx's favourite movies or something like that's going to be fun. But yeah. He's like 200 years old, but he doesn't know what a Snowpiercer is. But yeah, philosophical.
Well, hopefully soon, once lockdown starts to fade away, we'd be able to perhaps share our thoughts immediately. Get out, bounce them off.
Yeah.
In the moment.
We will experiment with that, obviously. Freedom Day is coming up. October 13 or something. October 11. As long as everything goes well. Gladys did resign today. I don't know if you heard. It kind of happened as we were beginning.
Oh. Good for her.
Well, is the next premier going to are they going to go forward with Freedom Day? Who knows? But bets are on for Freedom Day. Coming any day now. Hopefully things will get back to normal. But this isn't so bad, We get to talk on Discord and put it together, and then the people wherever they are, if they're alone, can feel less alone because we're yabbering off in their ear while they're trying to focus on their study or whatever. But yeah, that kind of sums it up. Yeah. But yes, thank you for listening. It's been a successful episode 3, coming back even stronger. After last week's shenanigans, talked a lot about B-movie. Had to cut maybe an hour. No, not an hour. Yeah. An hour of B-movie. I had to cut like 15 minutes of B-movie talk.
I can't believe it. But yeah, guys, watch non-English films. It might seem daunting to read all those words when you just want to watch a film.
Just want to brain off. Yeah.
But it's genuinely a very amazing experience to open yourself up to everything else that the world can offer, and not just shaky cam fighting and crappy horror movies.
Yeah, or and watch movies that aren't kind of blockbusters in general. Pun, but
100%.
What step outside. There's things out there. We'll get around to covering that. I mean, maybe in the future weeks we'll have kind of like best movies that underperformed or something like that. Best movies you've never heard of or something. I've got a few of those. I've got a list on Letterboxd. That'll be in the show notes. Some movies that kind of have less than 100 entries or less than 1,000 entries on Letterboxd, but just as good as like.
I'm sure I have a few of them. I'm sure I have a few of them as well.
Yeah. Well, we're planning. We're planning ahead. Anyway, that is all from us. Thank you for watching, sticking with us. We love seeing you send us sending us kind of feedback and even just hey, watch the episode, thought it was good, whatever it is. We love it. We love to see it. Contact us on
100%.
Yeah, on Instagram. We have a Twitter that I never check. You can
I never check it either. I didn't even know we have a Twitter.
Finn has the password. He just hasn't logged in. But you're free. It's in the Google Doc. He'll do that later. Yeah. Twitter, Instagram, probably more active, or send us an email, The Last Blockbuster, in Bend, Oregon. So that is all. Thank you once again. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. See you later. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Peace.